Hello, I'm Mehdi from IELTS Juice. In this episode of Read With Me, I'm going to demonstrate how you should do an IELTS reading passage and we'll analyze the questions for you. So in this part, I'm going to select Cambridge IELTS 17, which is the latest book, or one of the latest books, rather. And let's do test 1. Okay, here it is. Test 1. You could do the same. You could open your own book or a PDF for that matter, and follow along with me. You can read along as I analyze the text and the questions for you. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. Well, first things first, definitely the first thing to do is always, regardless of the kind of questions you're given, the first step is to skim the passage to get a general understanding of the text. So in this text, for example, we have no pictures, but the title. So I'm going to skim the text by reading the title first. The title says The Development of the London Underground Railway. And well, the best pieces of the text that we should read would be the thesis statement and the first sentence of every body paragraph. So these are topic sentences, so I'm gonna read them with you. So it's about the development of the London Underground Railway. Well, we don't need to read everything. We just read the last part. It could take an hour and a half to travel 8 kilometers by horse-drawn carriage or bus. Numerous schemes were proposed to resolve these problems, but few succeeded. So it seems like there's a problem of transportation. And so let me underline the keywords. So it's a matter of resolving these traffic issues. Yeah, so traveling and problem and resolution. Remember to underline the keywords as you go along, because later when you come back, you don't want to read everything again. So effective skimming means that you have underlined those key elements of every sentence that you read. So yeah, after the thesis statement, we move on to the body paragraphs. The first body paragraph says, amongst the most vocal advocates for a solution to London's traffic problems. Okay, this makes it clearer. Was Charles Pearson, who worked as a solicitor for the City of London. So it's about this guy who seems to be, who seems to have worked to solve this problem. Okay, that's one of the advocates. And that's enough, really. And we need to move on to the next paragraph. Two groups merged. Okay, we don't know who. Perhaps these two groups are from the previous paragraph, but we haven't read that paragraph yet, so we don't care. Established a Metropolitan Railway Company in... Okay, it's about the establishment of this company. And yeah, they were gonna construct a railway line. Okay, that's enough. The GWR, it seems like, yes, Great Western Railways. Okay, aware that the new line would finally enable them to run trains into the heart of the city, invested about blah, blah, blah in this scheme. So it's about the investment of money into this scheme. The new line, okay, and the same company. Yeah. Okay, next paragraph. The Metropolitan line, okay, which opened, okay, was the world's first, okay, interesting. So world's first underground railway. That's it. Remember to underline as you go along. Don't underline the whole sentence, of course. Only those keywords that make a difference, that actually contribute to your understanding. Even as the Metropolitan began operation, the first extensions to the line were being authorized. These, okay, that's the end of the sentence, but we can go on still because it's a semicolon. It's technically not yet the end of the sentence. So these were built over the next 5 years, reaching Moorgate in the east of London and Hammersmith in the west. Okay. So this paragraph seems to be about the first extensions to the line. Well, about the same thing, of course, but yeah, the extensions. Despite the extension of the, okay, let me make it a little bigger. Despite the extension of the underground railway by the 1880s, congestion on London's streets had become worse. So there's a problem still, problem of congestion. Even if you don't know what it means, it seems to be the problem, right? It has gotten worse. So it has become worse. That is a keyword that seems to be important. We don't know. We're not sure yet. We're just skimming. Yeah, so that is the problem. And finally, although the technology to create these tunnels existed, steam locomotives could not be used in such a confined space. So, so they could not be used in such spaces. Okay, that's another issue. But we can go on a little bit because it's a large paragraph, and maybe the second sentence makes a difference. It wasn't until the development of electric motors. Okay, I get the idea. It's about like steam motors. I mean, steam locomotives rather than electric motors that would be able to replace the traditional ones. Okay, so now, well, we don't know any details. We don't know any examples. We have no idea what these body paragraphs are like explaining in detail, but we have a general understanding of the text. And this skimming stage should take about 1 to 3 minutes max. Now, okay, next, we're going to look at the questions. The questions are here. Well, all right. So let's see what kind of questions we have. We have note completion. Give me a second. Okay, we have note completion. A note completion task, as well as true, false, and not given task. Well, both of them are good tasks. I mean, they're not necessarily easy, but when I say they're good, I mean there's something interesting about each of them. So let me explain. True, false, and not given questions have a very interesting feature or quality. These questions always come in passage order. So for example, if I find question number 7 in paragraph, I don't know, B, the second paragraph here, 8 cannot be in A. They come one after the other, and this can help us in finding the relevant areas. So this question type is a very good task to start with. We don't have to start with the first one, number 1, simply because it's number 1. No, we don't need to do that. But because this is a notes completion task, we can still start with this, because this also has a very interesting quality. Note completion tasks, well, even though they're not necessarily in order, they are still found in one area, in one certain area. For example, if as you can see, we have many titles there. So probably this is one paragraph, this is another paragraph, and this is another paragraph. And if there were no titles there like that, then this title could take us to the relevant paragraph. So all the answers would be found in the same area. Now in this case, because we have some subheadings like these, they could be from multiple paragraphs, but still these are not scattered around the text. So let's start with note completion tasks. This note completion task, which is titled the London Underground Railway. Well, this means, okay, because the title matches the title of the whole text, we cannot really benefit from this much. It could be from anywhere in the text. But because we have, because this task, this note completion task, covers questions 1 to 6 rather than like 5 to 10 or 5 to 13, this could indicate that probably, well, we cannot be sure, but probably these questions come from the first half of the text. Well, why? Because we have more questions coming up, some from 7 to 13. And usually these numbers can tell us where the answers can be found. Again, I repeat, this is not guaranteed, but it's more likely that you see answers to questions 1 to 6 in the first first paragraphs of the text. Now, let's start with the notes then. Well, always remember to notice how many words you're allowed to write. There's always a limit. This is one word only, so I can't write more than one word. It says the problem. Well, I remember where the problem was because we had a problem and solution here. But do we have any other clues? Yes, we do. There are years. If we find any of these years, we'll be happy. So yeah, we have this here. And well, I'm happy with that. It says something of London increased between these years. Okay, what increased? Okay, there's this year. So this is when we scan. Okay, we scan for the number. We find it here, and we read around it and look for parallel phrases. So London's population grew. Okay, we have increase rapidly at an astonishing rate. This is about speed, and this is increase. So they are parallel. So the answer is London's population. So I would write. Okay, let me change it to. Wait a second. Okay, so the answer is population. Make sure to copy the word as is. Don't make any changes to it. This is not necessary for us to read. And we just jump to the next one, proposed solution. So we have solutions here, or maybe here, but let's find out. We have this guy, Charles Pearson. Yeah, we know where he is. Charles Pearson is here. And then there is the building revenue will make it impossible to move people to make it possible to move people to better housing in the so better housing where? Move people where? So this guy, and then solutions together, clear London slums. His idea was to relocate. Okay, relocate is the same as make it possible move. Okay, so relocate poor workers who lived in the inner city slums. Okay, we have a place here. So we need a place here. So is it slums? Let's find out. To newly constructed suburbs. All right. So a better house. So it's better housing, newly constructed. Okay, great. So the answer is suburbs. Is it suburb or suburbs? It has to be suburbs. We cannot change it. Suburbs. Great. So a number of what? Agreed with. Okay, agreed. So this has to be a person. A number of people. I don't know, like who? Residents? I don't know. Scientists agreed with Pearson's idea. So we need to look for people who agreed with him. Well, is it the definite? Is it really after this relocation? Maybe. It's likely to be found there, but there's no guarantee. Maybe the answer is above. But first, I look down there. Oh, we have idea. Okay, good. We have this guy's ideas. Gain support. Okay, amongst some businessmen. Good. It was rejected first, but then another group. Group of who? Group of the same people, businessmen. Okay, they passed. Okay, so which parliament passed? So there's agreement here. Maybe initially it was rejected, but later they agreed. So the answer is businessmen. So I'm going to write a number of businessmen agreed with Pearson's idea. The company initially had problems getting the needed for the project. So what is needed for the project? Ask yourself this question. Like, okay, what is needed for the project? Well, let's find out the problem of something that they were that was needed, but they couldn't get it because they had problems initially. So blah, 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 blah. And difficulty. Okay, difficulty, problem. I found a synonym here. Problems, difficulty. So the organization had difficulty in raising the funding for such a radical, inexpensive scheme. So the answer is, so what do we need? We need something that means money. So the answer is funding. So funding means money that needed for the project. Cool. Remember, we only have one word to write, no more. Negative articles about the project appeared in the, so it's somewhere. Appeared where? But what is it? What we're talking about? We're talking about articles. Can you find the word articles here? Because of the critical. Okay, articles. Oh, critical articles. Critical is a negative thing. So it comes from the word, criticism and criticize. So critical articles printed by the press. Okay, negative articles appeared in the press. Can we write press? Yeah, do you know what press means? The press. Should I write the press? No, the is already given, and we have one word only to write. So press means newspapers and magazines. Okay, we don't need these other sentences, but we have this keyword cut and cover. Even though this is not a question, and you might think, well, why should I bother to read it? But in fact, this can take us to the right place. Cut and cover. Whatever it is, our answer will be in the vicinity. Cut and cover. Okay, here it is. So I found this cut and cover here. And the next is with the completion of the brick arch. So brick is a key word. Tunnel was covered with what? Okay, so you should ask yourself, the tunnel was covered with what? So the brick, okay, we have bricks and arch. I don't know, tunnel, okay. A 2-meter deep layer of soil was laid on top of the tunnel. Okay, laid on top of the tunnel means was covered with. So what was it? What was covering that? So the answer is a 2-meter deep layer of soil. Now that's obviously more than one word. So which word is the answer? No. 2-meter deep, that's only an adjective. It's a modifier. Layer, maybe. So with layer. With layer. Grammatically, it doesn't make sense. And it's not complete. Layer of what? So we need to write the layer of soil, a layer of soil, because that would make sense. But because we have only one word, we can only write one word. We have to select one of these words. So layer is not a complete word. I mean, it doesn't make sense. But soil does make sense. Like it was covered with soil, right? So this could be our answer. Make sure to spell it correctly. All right. If you take IELTS on computer, you can copy the word with Control C, or if you're with Control C, and copy and paste it here with Control V. All right, so the copy paste thing works. Those commands work. The shortcuts work, even though the right click shows nothing. The keyboard shortcuts still work for you in the exam. So whatever you do, make sure you spell the word accurately. Even a tiny mistake like adding I don't know, like S to the end of it would render the answer incorrect. Okay, so we're done with this. Let's move on to true and false and not given. Question 7. Well, usually when the first 6 questions have covered most of the text up to this paragraph, it is very likely that 7 to 13 will cover the rest of the text. Well, we're not sure, but let's find out. So the first one says metropolitan line. Okay, interesting. Well, I'd like to check where this is, because if whatever this is, the remaining questions will be after. All right, so we could do this. And okay, let's just find it then. Okay, we already know where it is because we skimmed the text before. Metropolitan line, which was opened on. Okay, so this is the first time. This is the first time this phrase is mentioned. So before the book. So okay, let's answer this and then move on to the remaining ones. All, I mean, in order. That's guaranteed. They have to be in order because this is a true and false and not given question type. So other countries had built underground railways before the metropolitan line opened. Is it so? Is it true? Which opened on, okay, which was the world's first underground railway. This is not true then. We have the information that it was the first, so no other countries had opened had built such railways. So the answer is false. Yeah. So 8. Well, we answer number 8 if there's something to look for. If it's a tough one, we can jump to 9, because after doing 9, 8 will have to be between 7 and 9. Okay, so if you cannot find 8, don't panic. Simply skip it and go to 9 and come back to it later. Let's try more. Let's try this number. This number 8. More people than predicted traveled on the Metropolitan line on the first day. On the first day. Where's the first day? Or travel, the number of people. What was that? Where were we? Okay, here. Was the worst first underground railway okay, on its first day. Easy. Almost 40,000 passengers were carried between this and that. The journey taken about 18 minutes. By the end of the Metropolitan's first year of the operation, this is irrelevant. So more people than predicted. That's a lot of people, 40,000. But is it really more than expected, more than predicted? We have no information about it, do we? And because there is no mention of this expectation or prediction, then because this part is not given, this is not in the text, the whole thing is considered not given. So, all right, let me just, all right. So number 8 is definitely not given. Number 9, the use of ventilation shafts. So I like it because we have these words, ventilation shafts to scan for. We can scan for that, for those 2 words, ventilation shafts. Where are they? Scan. So, however, okay, ventilation. Okay, ventilation shaft. So there it is. There we have it. Ventilation shaft. Okay, here we got what we were looking for. Now let's go back and read it to understand. The use of ventilation shafts failed to prevent pollution in the tunnels. Did it succeed or fail? Instead, however, smoke and fumes remained a problem. Okay, remained a problem. This means that they failed even though ventilation shafts were added to the tunnels. So because it remained a problem, it means that they failed to prevent pollution. Do we have anything about pollution? Yeah, smoke and fumes, that's pollution. Okay, so we have everything, and we have the opposite. So because we have the opposite, it is false. So, okay, let me write F here. All right, so, all right, fine, okay. Right, that's false. Oh, is it false? Yeah, sorry, it's true. Remained a problem and failed. Okay, I meant true. Remained a problem, failed to prevent. So that is true. Number 9, number 10, a different approach from the cut and cover. Okay, technique, cut and cover technique. Where is it? We can scan for it. Cut and cover. Okay, cut and cover technique is here. London's central area. London's certain areas. London's. Okay. Anyway, it's okay. Center. Okay, I found the center here too. So a different approach from the cut and cover technique was required in London's central area. The was not an option. Okay, see, it was not an option. So it means it was not possible. It was not enough. The only alternative, okay, whatever the alternative is, so the answer is true. Yeah, that's because a different approach was needed, and here it says that there was not an option. Okay. And 11, the windows on City and South London trains were at eye level. Well, City and South London. Let's find that phrase. City and South. Okay, here it is. City and South railway. We need windows as well. So let's look for windows. Windows. Look out. Okay, we have look out. Look out. So look out has to do something with windows. Eye level. At eye level. So the carriage were narrow and windows. Okay, found it. Just below the roof. Okay, the windows were just below the roof because it was thought that passengers would not want to look out at the tunnel walls. So were the windows at eye level? No, they were higher near the roof. So the answer is false. So 11 is false. 12, the city and South London Railway was a financial success. So financial success. City and South London, yeah, okay, was a great technical achievement. Okay, achievement means success, but is it technical or is it financial? It says technical. It did not make a profit. All right, profit means making money. Making a profit means make money, and make money means financial success. So it was not a financial success. It was only a technical success. Therefore, it is false. And 13, trains on the blah blah tube nearly always ran on time. Okay, let's find that. Okay, here it is. Began operation using new electric blah blah. It was added to the growing tube network by 19. The heart of today's. Okay, so is anything mentioned about running on time at all? I don't see anything referring to punctuality, being on time when it comes to twopenny or something. Tube. So because of that, even though this term is mentioned, and we have the trains, of course, but I mean, yeah, do we have trains? Do we have trains? But it's all about trains anyway. The whole text is about trains and railway trains. So even though we have this tube, the words tube, the answer is not given because running on time is not mentioned. So let's choose not given. What's that? Okay. Not given, not but given. So it is NG. Okay, lovely. That's it. We have answered 13 questions together. And we've spent about 30 minutes. Well, of course, for each passage you spend about 20, but because, well, I had to give explanations and sometimes slow down and take you with me, it took about half an hour or so. So yeah, that's the way you approach a reading passage. If you have any questions, make sure to ask in the section, in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to answer them. Good luck and happy reading.